Skyward Sword. So I played it when it came out in like 2012, something like that, because the game came out in 2011. And then I didn't play it for 10 years. 3, 2, 1, begin the run. I didn't play it for 10 years, and then HD came out, and I started playing HD casually. I got past the 3rd dungeon, which is wild to think of because I barely remember it. It wasn't that long ago, but I barely remember it. But I got past the 3rd dungeon, and then at the time, one of the reasons I decided to buy Skyward Sword HD, like, to play casually, was because I had been watching, at the time, Jim was speedrunning Skyward Sword HD any percent, or Hundo, or one of those. I want to say it was any percent. I have no idea. And I was like, yeah, I want to play Skyward Sword, because maybe someday I'd like to speedrun it. Not HD, the regular one. I do not want to speedrun HD. And then I got 3 dungeons in and went, actually, I just want to speedrun it. Also, hey, Abby, thank you so much for 19 months. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support, and thank you for the luck. I hope you're doing well today. You did 100% playthrough of Skyward Sword HD? Like, I feel like I should have. There we go. I feel like I should have done 100% playthrough before I picked up speedrunning SD any percent. But also, hey Leia, how's it going? Hope you're doing well today. But I didn't, so I get to live with the consequences of my actions. The consequences of my actions really weren't that bad. It's just I started like running SSR and had a lot harder of a time than somebody who would have played the game casually recently, because you know where things are if you play it casually. Managed to finish a run? Not today. Unfortunately, we had a couple of good starts that weren't great starts, but they were starts, that died partially to my Wiimote or nunchuck misbehaving, so we're trying a different nunchuck, because I have multiple of them. We're trying a different Wiimote nunchuck combo. Combo breaker. Yes, happy spooky month. It is in fact spooky month. Anybody got any fun plans for spooky month? Anybody dress up for Halloween? Like, I like Halloween because I like getting to dress up. I've always liked getting to dress up. I used to do cosplay. The thing I don't really like about Halloween as an adult is that, like, I feel like most people expect you to, like, go to parties and whatever to have an excuse to dress up. I don't do those. I don't want to go to a party. So I don't really get to dress up for anything other than stream? You made it to the final boss and just didn't bother fighting him. It felt wrong to finish the game without the Hylian shield. Wasn't up to the task of getting the Hylian shield at the time. It's like a fight this many bosses in a row, I believe, to get the Hylian shield from the boss rush minigame, right? I believe that's how they do it for Hundo, because it's like one of the biggest points of like RNG for Hundo. Also, Jinja, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day today. How is the puppos? I hope Coda is feeling better. GQ hotel room booked? Oh, I don't have mine booked. I don't know how we passed that. That's okay. I don't have any of my stuff booked, other than most of my submissions are done. Why did I... Dude, I am so thrown off today. I don't know why, but we're just gonna work with it the best I can. I'm gonna try to recover. I don't think I've ever 100%ed Skyward Sword. Put a black trash bag on my head to be a raisin. See, that's an idea. Pokemon Trainer always seemed like a fun idea to me. So, fun story. So, I signed up in senior year of undergrad to help out with the annual Sci-Fi Fantasy Club Cafe. And they had... they wanted a bunch of people to, like, be waitresses. The idea was it was a cosplay cafe, that the people serving you were in cosplay, and every year they had a theme. And their theme for the year that I signed up to help out was Pokemon. And so we were asked to, like, you know, be ready to do, like, to figure out what we were gonna do to adapt to this theme. We'd have, like, minimal costume, like, stuff that would be required of each person. It would mostly be, like, sort of, like, a quote-unquote a Sunday cosplay, if you speak convention talk, or like, I guess, like, quote-unquote bounding, if you speak Disney talk, I believe it's called. And I thought that I was going to be a Pokemon trainer. So I'm preparing, you know, to have to go out and buy a sports bra. Or, like, go out and get, like, maybe, like, a scarf to tie around myself or something like that. A sassy arm bag in bright colors. Like, you know, the things Pokemon trainers have. No, they wanted us to serve people as Eevees. I'm not gonna yuck anyone's yum, but I personally did not want to be an Eevee furry and serve people food. Why is this being... Ugh. My nunchuck is gross, but I'm gonna get used to it. It's okay. That sounded bad. Latest gen at the time, it would have been, the event was scheduled for, like, right before the end of the year 2020 school semester. Right before summer. So, COVID bailed me out of having to dress up like an Eevee and serve people food. Exactly, right? Like, that was not what I signed up for. I signed up to be a Pokemon trainer. Not a Pokemon. There's nothing wrong with cosplaying as Pokemon, but it's really something you should have to consent to. Personal take. You know? Personal take. But I feel like Pokemon trainer would be, like, a good casual cosplay. This is the second time today. Cosplay con's a thing during this month? I mean, I'm sure. I haven't done convention stuff in years. And also, like, when I did do convention stuff, I only did, like, 1 or 2 a year. I did not have the money to go to, like, a bunch of tiny ones. Conventions are expensive. So, I would not be the person to, like, go to events because, ooh, it's Halloween time. Just nah. Yeah, that would also be bad, you know? Yeah, it's very maid cafe. Like, the cosplay cafe already wasn't great. I was doing it as a favor for somebody else, and it was like, oh no, we're not gonna be able to do the cafe because of COVID. This is the only part of COVID that wasn't a tragedy. Was that I got out of doing this cafe thing that I agreed to as a favor and was trying to figure out how to back out of because I wasn't comfortable. You know? You're invited to a Halloween party, but you don't know what you want to go as, or even if you want to go. See, that's the thing is that, like, I've never been invited to a Halloween party, but also I don't think I would say yes if I was. My plan for Halloween this year, I don't know, does anybody know what day of the week Halloween is? I haven't even looked it up. It's probably a Friday, actually. I'll probably be streaming anyway, because, yeah, it's a Friday. My sibling's wedding is the weekend after that, so I'll be away that Saturday. So, like, we're probably doing silly dreaming. The 31st! Oh, that's what day it is. Haunted house attractions would be for adults. Like, I did help out in a haunted house a few times. Held a maid cafe, was pretty casual and chill. See, that's what I was expecting. Was much more like that type of vibe of like, it's a cosplay cafe, but like it's all kind of chill and vibes, and like nobody's actually taking it too seriously. They wanted me to wear a tail and like, I'll pass, thanks. Like that's fine for plenty of people out there, but it's just kind of a, no, I don't want to dress up like an animal. And there was something kind of weird added on to the fact that they only had femme members of like the club volunteer to be waitstaff because the majority of the club was femme. And it was not a femme individual who decided the theme. You know? You only know because you're signed up to give a presentation on Halloween. Is it relevant to it being Halloween? Can you see yourself in a skirt? Oh, yes. I wear skirts all the time. Personally, I'm of the opinion that skirts are just more comfy. Hot take, I know. They're just so comfy. I love tights. I love skirts. If you have seen photos of me from events, often I am like, my sibling made comments once about how photos of me from, I want to say it was the first SGL. Also, hey, Mindset, how's it going? Skirts do go spinny. I love them. But the first time I went to SGL, there's like this massive group photo, and everybody's in like jeans, t-shirt, big comfy sweatshirt, and then there's me in like my GDQ shirt with color coordinated makeup and a fun colored skirt. Hold on. Nice, we're good. And my sibling was like, you look like you went to the wrong event. And I was like, this feels mean, either to me or the other people, and I don't know which. This is just me. I like skirts. I like, it's not really dressing up to me, it's just dressing comfy. It's a math presentation. Math is scary to many people. This is just a true fact. So I say, get a witch hat. Or a warlock hat? Are those a thing? Get a appropriate hat. And then at the beginning of the presentation, go boo, and then it's Halloween themed. Then you're on a theme. Terrify people with imaginary numbers? Yes. Do it. Imaginary numbers? Very, very scary. What are they really? There we go. Prefer jeans? I'm just like... so I like shorts. I like shorts. They're comfy and easy to wear. Also, hey Asher, how's it going? I do wear a lot of shorts. I'm wearing shorts right now. I'm wearing kind of like just cozy shorts right now, like not like jean shorts, but I wear a lot of jean shorts, just various kinds of shorts. The thing that I don't like about like long jeans is that long jeans, like I tend to sit very balled up, and so if I sit for more than like 10 minutes in like long jeans, I cannot hit this guy today. I like get like folds of jean material digging into my leg to the point that like it starts to like leave a mark and kind of hurt. So I prefer wearing skirts and tights, or in the winter, instead of wearing long pants, I'll wear tights under shorts. Also, hey Sluggo, how's it going? Don't get me started on negative numbers. They've got such an attitude, man. They need to fix that. If you don't think imaginary numbers are scary, then you don't have a very vivid imagination. Skinny jeans, they look cute. Not for me. They're not comfy to me. I like my legs a little more free. I just, in general, like, I don't really like being covered in a lot of fabric. I'm much more indifferent about, like, a long sleeve shirt. But my happiest is, like, tank top, shorts or skirt. That's it. Like, that's just the comfiest outfit to me. 9, 10, 11. I don't trust myself and I don't know why. I should examine that with a therapist, except I won't. Because therapy is expensive. And I don't think a therapist needs to hear about, hey, I think I have a weird trust issues with myself during a speed run. They're gonna go, what's a speed run, you weirdo? No, they won't call me a weirdo. They're a therapist. That would be unprofessional. They'll just think it. Quietly. Indoor places. I mean, you can try alternative types of skirts. I do have some very comfy, like, skirts. They got, like, pants on the inside. Different things for different people, though. What you need the rupee for until you realized I was trying to get knocked out. Yeah, so what we're doing there... here, we'll practice some commentary for you. Would you like to know about the beginning of pretty much every Skyward Sword speedrun, with the exception of, like, no bit or restricted bit, is going to do at the beginning that whole long sequence I just did. Sometimes there's a couple of things in it that you can skip, but usually you're gonna do that long sequence of things. And what we're doing is setting up a file that's going to be very specific for the rest of the run. Because we need to get a file that can jump off of our bird before it has ever rescued our bird. Because what we want to do is be able to do Skybit, which requires us being able to enter the sky back in time and put ourselves into Zelda's patented Loftwing flight tutorial, the thing where she talks to us the whole time. And in order to do that, we need to be able to do what I just did and escape from her Loftwing flight tutorial, so it never sets the flag that it's been completed. So what I just did was I did that whole weird bit interaction where I copied my file in order to create a file that was a copy of a file that wanted to spawn right before I saved my bird for the first time. So the next time that I hit start on that file, it's gonna respawn right before rescuing my bird. And so it doesn't have a bird rescued on it, but it can borrow a bird from the title screen. So it acquires a bird that doesn't actually count as its bird. So I'm borrowing the bird from the title screen, and then I can get that phi text, which is her telling us how to jump off the bird, which allows us to jump off the bird whenever we want. And then I need to die so that I can death warp back to rescue my bird for real. And then I get my bird for real, and Zelda's like, hey, let me teach you how to fly your bird. And I go, yeah, I don't care. And then I escape from the tutorial so that I can do what I'm about to do now. Also, hey, Hellsage, how's it going? I can do what I'm about to do now, which is Skybit and then Farronbit, because I can get into both the Sky and Farron back in time. I just can't get into Elden or Linearum. Name gender-neutral formal wear that isn't a modern suit. For a bit, I misunderstood, and I thought that my sibling was going to wear, like a kurta-style tunic for their wedding. I thought that was a pretty, and it wasn't like, a traditional kurta. If anybody doesn't know what kurta is, like men's wear, that's like traditional Indian attire. But it wasn't like a traditional one. but that's what I was told that it was like something very tunic-like that. And I was like, that seems like a nice idea for a gender-neutral option. You know, be Link. Wear a tunic. Except for in this game, we're kind of just wearing our pajamas, but that's a Skyward Sword issue. Excuse me. There we go. But now I can look at file 1, because file 1, if it tries to load into the sky, it wants to load into the Loftwing flight tutorial, and now I'm in the sky in the Loftwing flight tutorial, because Zelda's gonna start talking about now. There we go. Zelda's talking now. And we're just going to leave, like, I don't want to press A too many times because I don't want her to finish talking. We're just gonna ignore that, and let her keep talking at us, and just go, wee. A kilt? Skirts are for everyone. You can't convince me otherwise. And now, we're in Farron. Heck yeah. Postmodern suit? Is it really borrowing the bird if you don't intend to return it? So, we do return it, we just die first. I assume that the bird goes back to the title screen where he came from, which actually he was borrowed from the file that had saved our bird. That's kind of what happened, because, so there's a couple of different things that we do in Back in Time routinely that are kind of our little, like, puzzle pieces that we can use. One of them is called a bit save, and basically a bit save is going to update some of our flags from our file onto our, like, Back in Time setup. So it's gonna allow me to have some of the things from my file, in addition to messing with my coordinates. And one of the things that loads in is whether or not you have a bird. So because I bit saved a file that had a bird, in this case it was file 2, I had a bird in Back in Time, but it wasn't my bird in Back in Time. Normally, it was file 2's bird. You're so lost? Don't worry, because the important part is that we can go to the sky on the title screen, and it's silly. It's very silly. Go Team Sky! Go Team Sky! I don't know what we're the team of. Well, the sky, I guess. Whee! Also, hey Envision, how's it going? This definitely won't be on the exam. It won't be. I'm nicer than that. This will be extra credit. Yeah, so essentially all we are doing, like the very, very simple version of it, is we're doing things intentionally out of order, specifically so that we can jump off our bird the second we get it, before the game lets us do other things. And the way we do that is silly and complicated and requires stealing things from the title screen and borrowing them and giving them back and whatever. Silly nonsense. And also it's a level more complicated because, unfortunately, the way that we have to do that is through, our file dupe Sky RBW, which we never do file dupes anywhere else in the run. They're just confusing, and why does it work like that? Because things are janky, and why does it matter? Because things are janky. Alright. We're saving some time. Not much, but some. There we go. I would say 7 seconds ain't bad. 6.5. The third evil team of the Hoenn region. Oh! Expand the sky! What does that do? Why do they want to expand the sky? Why would any... The sky's already there. You can just go up. We need more room for planes. I want more complicated cloud watching. Also, it's time for, don't press A, everyone. Don't know about homemade ramen, but microwave ramen is pretty salty. Oh no, we pressed A. Don't worry, I have the safety thing up. That's okay. Personally, I really like ramen. Ramen is one of my favorite things to cook for myself. I'm about to be left at home with a dog and a kitchen for 4 days. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna cook up so much delicious ramen. Because that's my favorite thing to make for myself. And is it just salty? It's pretty salty. No A pressers, don't worry, you're allowed to press A now. It can be press A time. But just careful, A press. But it has a lot of salt in it usually. I usually use less than the full, like, salt, like, soy sauce packet and whatever that they give you in, like, the little packages, because I kind of just make ramen into, like, a meal. My go-to ramen is I get, like, a packet of, like, ramen from the store, like, you know, like, one step above, like, top ramen type of thing, or like, Maruchan. And then we put, like, egg and tofu and whatever is vegetarian. That's the flavor I like. It's usually just like soy sauce or spicy generically. And then I only put in half the flavor packet and to like then put in veggies and then put in like, you know, spices and whatever I have lying around. Chili onion crunch from Trader Joe's. Excellent. If you like, you know, chili flavor. Delicious. I love peppers. Like white pepper powder, also really good. I'm a big ramen enjoyer. Never ever press the forbidden button, since it would be super rude to do so. You is not rude, since the Pippi is friend who deserves nice people who do not press forbidden buttons. Thank you for not pressing A, but don't worry, you can press A now. Nox. You pressed A, good job. I'm not gonna do the wrong Emperor brand chili sesame oil. I haven't done chili sesame. Sesame is very good though. I really like sesame like sauce. Also good. Alright, so we're doing this RBM. Continue to come up with unique sentences that don't include the letter A. What's the book that doesn't include the letter... Okay, we're good. I fixed it. What's the book that doesn't include the letter E? There's, like, a book that's been translated into a stupid amount of languages, despite the fact that it's not very popular, that doesn't use the letter E, because, like, it's kind of like a challenge to translators that... whatever language you translate it into, you are supposed to exclude the most commonly used letter in that alphabet. Well, the nunchuck messed up again, but we fixed it. Gadsby by Ernst Vincent Wright. What a person to become a writer if your name is Wright. Also, hey Faison, how's it going? I hope you're doing well today. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, start. Exactly. I've never read the book that doesn't contain the letter E. This nunchuck is bad. Which is weird because their name has an E. They should have spelled it without the E. Come on. Come on, Ernst. At least spell it with an I for the day. What do you mean you want credit for your publication? Yeah, exactly. Ernst Vincent Wright. That didn't actually lose time yet, as long as I make this jump. There we go. That extra roll I did by accident did not lose time. H, by the way. Just leaving an extra shift at work. Well, I hope you have a safe trip home, and I hope you're doing well. All you know is Phoenix, right? Do you know the alternative visual novel about working in a law practice, Aviary Attorney, which is like Phoenix Wright if Phoenix was a kind of bird. Wait. Sub 30 for the split. We love it. Oh, the famous one for being translated is Avoid by Georges Persek. That still has E's in it, dude. It's related to the bird dating sim? No, actually. But I'm told that is also a wild trip of a experience. I've never played a Hatoful Boyfriend, the pigeon dating simulator, but I know people who did from a long time ago, and also, like, I bought it once. I bought it for Day, my moderator, because, fun fact, Day's birthday is the same as, Tesla? Nikola Tesla, like the actual individual, and, Tesla had a pigeon that he loved so much, he called it his wife. And he said when she died, the creative spirit left him. So when she found out that she shared a birthday with Nikola Tesla, for that birthday, I got her a Hatoful Boyfriend so that she could be like Nikola Tesla, because I was a jerk. There's pictures of this very specific pigeon. If you would like to know more Tesla facts, may I suggest you watch, one of the times that, Momo has done, the Nancy Drew game about, like, being at the Tesla place. I forget. Is Deadly Device? Deadly Device. It's like working with a bunch of like Tesla style inventions and stuff like that. And they do have a bunch of pigeons everywhere and a lot of facts about Nikola Tesla, who was in fact a weird dude. Yeah, whoop. That's fine. There we go. I mean, I have a very strong affection in my heart for games that, like, it's a very weird niche genre. Games that play around with what it means to be interactive media. And I wouldn't say that Hatoful Boyfriend ever quite scratched that itch to me. So I've never played Hatoful Boyfriend. It never really sort of touched upon that. But for a while, it was kind of like a hot button topic, I want to say, in, like, visual novel circles. And I think it almost always is in visual novel circles. Like, what does it mean to be a video game? How interactive does it have to be for you to feel like you have interaction in the story? Yeah, Karaf, as you say, I think that the biggest one that most people have heard of, that sort of fit into that mold was, Doki Doki Literature Club. That, like, are you in control of anything? Even, like, Undertale kind of had some dabbling into that, but also, like, hey, if anybody doesn't know, I was on Couch for GDQ Mainstage for Variety playing Valhalla, Cyberpunk Bartender Action. And that wasn't because I've speedrun Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartender Action, nor was it because I had any interest in doing so. It's just because I really do genuinely like Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartender Action, and one of the fun things about that game is that it's a visual novel, but it's not. The points of interaction are not selecting a dialogue choice, it's making somebody a drink, which is neat. What is Pride having for dinner? Ramen. Pride, weren't you listening earlier? I was giving you instructions. Come on. More of an experience that makes clever use of the medium. Yeah, like, I love the clever use of the medium. Like, that's the type of thing that... Is that what you're having? Yeah. You're having fancy ramen. I also say no to Yandere Simulator. If you, are not aware of why you should say no to Yandere Simulator, there are many video essays on YouTube that can tell you why. The dev is bad. You're having Rayman for dinner. Is that where his feet and hands went? No, wait, he has feet and hands. He doesn't have legs. Is that where his legs and arms went? His arms and legs? Oh, goodbye, arms and legs. What about ramyun? I don't know what ramyun is. I know what ramune is. I had ramune for the first time in a long time, actually, at GDQ. Because they had it at the sushi train place. See, that's what we like to see. Give me that bomb. Let me turn around. Throw that bomb in there. Hee hee hee. Funny arbitrary tasks. You have eaten the arms that were on the Rayman. Forgive me, they were delicious. Why is this structured like a poem? Are we like beatniks? Fun fact, I can never remember how to spell beetle, like the actual word. I have to remember how to spell beetle like the Beatles and then write not that. It just feels so wrong to me. The beetle, thank you! Bye! Has a lot of variations, including Pensit Canton? I've never heard of this. I am not a very good cook. Which is to say, I can cook things that I think taste good. I cannot cook things that are technically good. Those are two different things. Like, Filipino instant noodles. I mean, noodles just in general are really good. I don't know what defines the technical difference between noodles and pasta, but pasta I get sick of so easy. Noodles I never will. I think part of it might be soup. I really like soups and sauces. Just more soupiness and sauciness, please. There we go. Beautiful. Pasta are noodles. Eggs. Eggs sounds about right. Every time I think about pasta and noodles, my first thought is a line from a children's show that I saw when I was like 16. That was some sort of like, it was like a Nickelodeon or Disney Channel thing, I don't remember which, but at the end of an episode, I don't know the plot of the episode, somebody gives a dude a suit, and he goes, "Oh my goodness, is it Italian?" And she goes, "Yep, as Italian as noodles." And he's like, "Oh, I must try it on immediately." And then he goes and he leaves to put on his suit, and somebody goes, "You know that noodles are actually Chinese?" And she goes, "Oh, so is the suit." And I'm like, that's such a well-written joke. Why is it in this children's show? That's like a genuinely good joke. And also, now I'll never forget where noodles come from. That line sounds familiar. It was from like a Nickelodeon show. It was like something about being a teenage fashion designer, I think. I don't remember. Because I only saw like 2 episodes of it. I saw it when I was sick a couple times, so I don't know what the actual, like, show was. Alright, let's do the thingy. If anybody can identify this show, I will be impressed. I am impressed. I believe Backside of Water is correct. That sounds familiar. That sounds correct. I don't know actors very well, so I'm gonna go with sure. I'm gonna go with sure. Grain, flour, and binder. Okay, so pasta is egg, grain, and flour. Is that what we're saying? That's what the difference is? Do you have any idea how Lil narrows that down? Was that person in a lot of them? Was Keke Palmer in a lot of Disney and Nickelodeon things? Too many shenanigans. I did not watch a whole ton of those shows, but mostly because I didn't get cable that young. Oops. Alright, time to do the hard thing. That we have had nothing but success at recently, so it's time to fail it, right? We're not gonna fail it, I swear. Grain flour equals powdered rice, wheat, etc. I mean, I don't know what's in it. It's just good. I just really like noodles. They're delicious. And I don't know why there we go. My brain thinks that they are better than pasta. Maybe it's just that, like, pasta was my parents' lazy food, and noodles are my lazy food. Like, that might be the difference to me. You know? Because, pasta was, like, what my parents would cook my entire childhood when they didn't feel like putting, like, effort into dinner. As like, yeah, this is like something cheap and really easy. It's just like pasta with like red sauce and some mushrooms. And I find that to be the most bland dinner option in existence. And I don't know how they can eat it that often. It's so bland. I need flavor in my life or I will go crazy. What age did I watch teen content? I have no idea, honestly. I really have no clue. Cause like, by the time I was like actually like a teenager, I kinda didn't watch a lot. I watched some amount of anime, but that was about it. I didn't watch a lot else for the most part. I kind of stopped watching TV. Enter Farron on file 3. Effort, your favorite ingredient? I love effort. I'm really bad at putting effort into my cooking, though. This is kind of known. Again, I'm not a good cook. I'm just close enough for government work. Sometimes. You love other people's effort? Yeah, it's great, and it's really nice. I love it when other people put in effort. Like, I would love to be a better cook, but honestly, here is my personal problem with cooking. One, cooking feels Sisyphusian. It is, like, my ideological problem with cooking is that, like, the lack of permanence of, like, the, yay, I spent 2 hours making this delicious meal, and tomorrow I'm gonna have to do it all again. I don't like that. But also, like, the problem with me and cooking is that I don't know how to cook for people who are better at cooking than I am. I can't, like, cook for my parents, you know? Because my parents are better at cooking than I am, and they know how to do the things I do, but better, and then I feel really self-conscious about it. And then I don't feel comfortable doing it, and then I feel really bad. Also, hey, username, how's it going? I hope you're having a good day today. Like, I feel like I'd feel much more confident with cooking if I had more experience cooking for people who did not know how to cook. You know? I want people with no standards who will go, yeah, you put chili oil in that and it was good. And I'm like, heck yeah, man. That's how you cook if you're me. Right, pet that screen. Pet that screen. Always remember, everybody, pull out your Wiimote and pet your screens. It's very important. Because every time I press the A button, I cannot be highlighted over a button if I would like to maintain the current menu. And that's not the food menu. That's very like, you need a cane today setting up your kids' first phones. How old are kids when they get phones nowadays? Like, that makes me sound old. But I swear, I mean it like I will not ever be having children. 5 months old? Sounds about right. I will not ever be having children. So like, how old do people wait? 15 and almost 12? See, that seems like 15 was like about when I got a phone. I think I was like 14. Excuse me. There we go. Single best and single worst decision you've ever made. See, I've just always been a person who knew that I was never gonna have kids. So like, that's fine. Any amount of like, the joy of children I can experience vicariously through others. I don't need it for myself. Okay, we lost it. Hold on. Hold on. Alright, we made it. We made it. Sound loud and sticky? Exactly. How do you deal with the loud and the sticky? When your brother was born, the chain nerd for GDQ people, you held him and told your mom you wanted a kid of your own. Aww. That's sweet. Why would you have a screamy small human when you can have a horse? See, I don't... horses take up a lot of space, so I don't think I'm a horse person. I don't like having to take care of large amounts of space. But that's also the same for children. Children need some amount of space to survive and thrive. So, like... we're gonna go with bunny or cat. That's probably what I'm gonna wind up with at some point. That wasn't a terrible split. It just had, gonna go hold your fish. Enjoy your fish. Any animal. Please don't kill your fish. Point of order. But otherwise, enjoy your fish. Why would you have a screaming little human when you could have an insert pet here? Why would you have a screaming little human when you can have a fish? I remember at one point, I think I had known Glubbers for about a year, and I said in his chat, hold on, I'm gonna go do dishes with my fishies. And Glubbers was like, and today I learned that Pippi has pet fish. And I was like, no, I just wanted to say I'm gonna go do my dishes. But I wanted it to sound more interesting than just telling chat I'm gonna go do my dishes. I don't have fish. I think I was more thinking like, I'm gonna go do my dishes and die? Potentially? I don't know. If you can't handle being around kids your age in elementary school, you're less likely to have patience for your own kid. I mean, I've like taken care of teenagers before, and they're a handful, but like, I feel like there comes a point where like, we're just paying attention for the timing there, where like there's some emotional maturity for teenagers that not all kids have acquired yet. I feel like I would No, that's not what I said. 30 to 40 kids per class, that's too many. That's too many. The school I went to when I was a kid, it was a lot of people in that class if there was 20. Oh god. You had a fish named Pancake ages ago and it disappeared. Like one day just straight up gone. No, Pancake! Don't press A, by the way. Pressing A is now illegal. Until we can get off of this map. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people who are like very introverted who, see, B is allowed. That jumped out of the bowl, that sucks. The thing I remember about my roommate used to have betas, and betas are a handful in general because they can get really sick really easily, but it's hard to tell that they're sick because they're a fish. But apparently they have a lot of diseases. They are disease prone. Please talk to Pipit. Yeah. That's what I want. Is talk to Pipit time. Alright. Bonk elephant. We are now allowed to press A, by the way. And we have now bonked an elephant. But I'm sure there are plenty of people who, like, are just generally introverted individuals and are successful at raising kids and whatever. Like, you don't need to relate to every human being to relate to, like, your own child or, like, just in general, like, be empathetic towards your own child. But also, it's not an experience that's for everyone. Some fish you should never put together. Yeah, that was... The thing with betas as well is, like, they're called fighting fish for a reason. That, like, it's really hard to find other fish that they work well with, I believe. So my roommate just had one beta. His name was Cedric, and then he died. And then she was heartbroken, and she got another beta, and his name was also Cedric, and he died. And she was more heartbroken. And it was like, oh, this could have gone better. See, this is what was supposed to happen. Yeah, finances are also an issue, which is wild to me in the fact that, like, so many like, parents just kind of assume that their children are going to have children, and it's like, finances are scary, actually. Alright, we're running away, slashing the thing. People generally do aquariums wrong. That's what I've been told. You and your brother both had beta fish and were in charge of feeding and cleaning their tank, but your parents got wall-mounted tanks and put them out of your reach. How did you clean the tank? But what did you do? I know I've also heard that, like, people have said that, like, the like, fair fish experience of, like, going to the fair and getting a fish in a bag is, like, how to kill a fish 101. That's how you kill a fish. Is put it in a bag. Finances aren't scary as long as you have a Zelliversal to help you. Lucky for you, a Zelliversal helps you with your finances. See, that sounds nice. Yeah, never do that, never do that. I feel like that's what we were supposed to learn from Finding Nemo. Was, don't put your fish in a bag, and if you do, don't shake the bag. That's just called fish torture. And also, if your fish dies, put them in the toilet and not the garbage can, in case they aren't actually dead and they're just faking it to get away from you, a terrible fish parent. Also, people with those big braces are apparently evil. And real? Question mark? I don't think I've ever seen anybody with those, like, the massive braces like you see in the movies. I don't know what those are called, or if those are real. This has been the lessons that I have learned from Pixar movies. Alright, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2. Your mother had them! Was she evil? I need to know if the movies are true. I need to know how closely I'm supposed to be paying attention to what I learned from Finding Nemo. Take a dog over a fish? I would probably also take a dog over a fish, but they're very different amounts of work, you know? I feel like a dog is a large commitment. And I don't know, like, as much as I love dogs, I don't know when in my life, I can't see apparently, I would feel comfortable with, like, committing to a dog. Also, hey Stejans, how's it going? Thank you so much for 4 months. I really appreciate it. That is very kind of you, and I appreciate the support. I hope you're doing well today. We are not hurting anyone, because hurting people is bad. Oh, is that... do we have boo pictures? We might have boo pictures. Oh, we got 2 boo picture. 2 boo picture. Alright, well, we did this interesting. Your roommate has a dog, and let me tell you, you wish you had a cat. My sibling's allergic to cats, but they are just darn cute. They're really cute. And, like, I love the cats. Alright, your file 1, entering Deep Woods, and then positional bit warp. Huzzah. We need to do a Machi warp. Everybody say hi to Machi. I will try to view the boo at some point. Whenever, though, I open boo pictures on stream, I would love you to know, Lou, that I do accidentally leave them open for until I next turn off my computer. They get left open for, like, a day or 2. Because, oops. Hype train incoming. Did somebody donate money, or is it just giving us a hype train? What? How does this work? Why does it say we're at 31% of a hype train? I'm confused. Accidentally is cute. It's hard. They lag behind these days? Oh, you're right. It probably was Stejans, but that's so weird. Alright, come over here. Okay, we didn't get the fast damage down, but that's okay. We still got the rest of it, and that's what I care about. That is what I care about. We can damage down elsewhere. It does not take that much time. Stejans is listed as the conductor. Okay, so we figured it out. It's just lag. You had a minor fear of dogs because just about everyone you knew had a dog and was terrible at training them. Yeah, that's like... I feel like a thing that I had to, like, deal with a lot at camp, was we had a couple of people who, like, did have legitimate fears of dogs, and there was a dog, that lived at the campground, and whenever, like, the dog was around, people wanted to, like, call him over and, like, play with him. I think it was her, actually. But, like, people wanted to, like, talk and interact with the dog. Her name was Karma. and people wanted to play with the dog, and we had a couple of campers who were like legitimately just scared of dogs, and it's like, so many people who are dog people are like so much dog people that they're like, how can anybody not understand how cute and fluffy you are? And it's like, I also feel like that about my dog. But also I know that like, if somebody says, hey, I'm not a dog, I'm not here for the dogs, no thank you, that like, okay, more fluff for me. Like, don't force dog time upon somebody who does not want dog time. Let's be honest. What are we being honest about? Everyone's here for Boo. If you want to open the link, you can be here for Boo. Alright, it's time for the scary part of the RNG of the run, because we are going to try to get through this area without causing no. That's okay, because our camera is now in the correct direction and will damage down. Okay, so we had some gross cameraing. No, this way. But that's okay. I'm trying to keep a Keese off screen at the moment. It's what I'm trying to do. Now he's on screen, but that's okay because he is not running over there. They're kind of aggressive outside of their owners. Huh, I did not know this about Pomeranians. I have never really interacted with a Pomeranian. So I don't know much about Pomeranians. But yeah, there is a large problem, I think, especially like post-pandemic, with people having pets and not knowing how to take care of them. Having juggled dogs that were very defensive before. Oh, hold on. I need to actually pay attention to my movement. No, not all dogs are floof for everyone, even if you like your dog. Yes, I can agree with that. We jumped in the wrong direction, but now we're good. Just had to do some stamina management. I think also, like, a big misconception, because people kind of tend to flatten animals in terms of, like, oh, if dog is friendly to me, then it's a good, well-trained dog. If dog is mean to me, then it's a bad dog. And like in actuality, animals are way different from that. Just like how if you are rude to a service worker one day, by accident, it doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad person. You might have just had a really bad day, and that service worker might have said something kind of rude to you that sounded like what your boss said or something like that. Like, it doesn't necessarily, like, this tiny interaction doesn't necessarily mean much, if anything, about you as a person. It's a pattern of behavior that means that, like, hey, there's a problem. And I think that, like, a lot of people are like, oh, is your dog friendly? I was like, well, I can only speak for my own dog, but he's very friendly and he loves people. Generally speaking, if he's overwhelmed, he will, like, not want to be around new people. That's kind of how dogs work. Is actually the nice one the one letting you pet her is the mean one? Oh no. Alright, we are not copying things. I almost read the wrong split again. Almost read the wrong split again. Like, I feel bad for, like how many poorly trained dogs delivery workers must have to deal with. And, like, that is the one nice part about, like, a cat over a dog, is that, like, as much as I think dogs are adorable and lovely, I don't think cats are nearly as problematic to strangers. They usually don't see as many strangers, and they're usually not as, in your face as dogs can be. That's a generalization, though. For all I know, they could be for specific cats. There are people who bring their cats on a plane, and I'm impressed by that. I'm impressed that they let you bring your cat in the passenger cabin a lot of times now. Like, do they have vetting processes for the cats? And is that done at a vet? Do you get vetted by a vet? You probably do get vetted by a vet. But that's probably not for temperament. You will still get a dog or two when your life situation allows it. What would be, like, your ideal life situation for pets? You know, general question. Like, what's your ideal pet setup? Because it's like, I don't know if my ideal pet setup would be a dog. Again, requires a lot of space. I don't really like taking care of a lot of space. Push log with file 1, enter on file 1. Boo is very silly when it comes to people. I assume that Lou's ideal dog situation is Boo. There we go. Your own place that's not for rent. I mean, there are some pets that are good for, like, rentals, but not always. Right. We are going to knock down our vine. Also, hey, Cheese God, how's it going? Had a friend that had her cat USDA certified to take it to Germany. Did the cat like Germany? I hope it did. Can you imagine you bring your cat all the way to Germany and she hates it? He hates it? Cat gender? Okay. I YOLO'd that. Yeah, it is Deep Woods with file 3. We still got it first try, it was just a little bit slow. And now, select file 2 and skip cutscene. That we go. It was fine in Germany, it was not fine on the plane. I could imagine. Planes aren't fun for humans. I don't know when the next time I'll be on a plane is. Probably SGDQ. If no other event asks me to be there. Before then. There we go. That little camera change means it worked. Now, we have gotten to the end of this very long section. Your plush animal is the perfect pet for renting. D, by the way. Can I rent your plush? That's what Kiri has, is, like, they have sort of, like, cages for nighttime, but during the day they don't put the dogs in cages. I'm on pet sitting duty this weekend because my parents are going out of town and Kiri is getting over kennel cough, but, like, he normally does not go to some place where they'd just be, like, in a cage. He's got, like, a fancy doggy hotel that honestly is more expensive than any hotel that I've stayed in the last, like, 5 years. Because, of course he does. He's the prince of everything. Alright, let's see how much time we are saving or losing. I don't know how long these cutscenes are. Go away. Are service area animals allowed on planes next to the owner? Usually, I believe so. Like, that is my understanding, that, like, service animals are trained specifically to be good under a lot of circumstances, so hopefully. Heck yeah! We're ahead! Why do we call it pacifist when we don't fist? We fist bump it. Boosh. Also gay split, by the way. That's a real gay split. That's a real gay split. We love it. Oh my gosh. Finally. Finally got to split. finally. What they got is an emotional support animal. Yeah, I think there is also, like, there are definitely some places that don't make a distinction between a service animal and an emotional support animal. And, this is a fun story from my sibling's partner works at a library. And at some point, she was working at the library, and there was a woman who tried to contact the library for a couple weeks, I believe, saying that they were breaking the law and violating all sorts of, like, rules or whatever, because they would not allow her to bring her emotional support therapy miniature horse into the library. And they were like, so it needs to be a licensed service animal, but if you have a licensed service miniature horse, then yes, you can bring it to the library. And she was upset because she was like, no, you're not gonna allow me to bring my emotional support miniature horse to the library. They were like, ma'am, you don't have an emotional support miniature horse. If you have an emotional support miniature horse, please bring it to the library so we can see its paperwork and know if it's allowed to be in the library. We will deal with this matter in person when you bring your miniature horse. And yeah, no, she didn't have a miniature horse. She was just harassing the library. Who harasses the library? What? What? What, the two allowed animals? I think there's more allowed animals than that based on what the need is, but I believe you can get a support miniature horse. But, like, surprising amount of people harass the library. I know, and it's disturbing. Why do they do this? People who hate libraries love harassing people, or both. Why would you hate the library? You can just not go to the library. Nobody is making you go to the library. Also, hey Hex, how's it going? Thank you for the luck. Hex, how do you feel about pacifism? Because we're having pacifist time. Current federal regulations define service animal for ADA purposes to exclude all species of animal other than domestic dogs and miniature horses. You know what? Win one for miniature horse. All right, don't forget to copy the file. Copy file 1 to file 2. Why was I doing a 1-frame copy? I don't need to. Like, I can do a 1-frame copy. But I don't need to. I was, like, doing the arm motion I do for it. You abide by it in your daily life? That seems like a good idea. That's what we're doing today. The books come to life and plot against us? No, that's Night at the Museum. That's not a library, that was a museum. Wonder which rich person got that on the books? The miniature horse? I mean, I assume that's an allergen thing, right? Probably. I don't know, maybe Cineris would know more. Or I don't know if miniature horses count under Cineris's jurisdiction. But I would assume it could also be a mobility thing. Yeah, horse question. Commence horse discourse. Where's horse intercourse? We need horse intercourse to have horse discourse. That's a Twitch user, by the way, who hangs out in chat sometimes. I'm not just making things up. I swear. If you can use a wheelchair, a small horse can be ridden on terrain. I don't think that's gonna be it. Because we're talking about miniature horse. Also, hey Dolmiers, how's it going? Wasn't able to use a dog and her family had religious reasons to not have dogs. So she had to go with the mini horse, which has benefits. They do not live... They do live longer. I got really confused when I read that as they do not live longer. Like... Who died? No, nobody died. The horse is fine. How small are miniature horses? They're like ponies. And smaller, I believe, actually. They're like of... somewhere closer to like a Saint Bernard type of thing. You cannot ride a miniature horse. Small children probably could, or hobbits. But like, I would imagine that it could be an allergen thing. That like, you know, my sibling is allergic to cats. I know people who are allergic to dogs. Like, miniature horses do not have the same type of like hair and dander that a cat or a dog would have, so. It's the puppy-sized horse from your favorite silly hypothetical. What's my favorite silly hypothetical? This has become a legitimate question now. Okay, good. That did give us the correct thingamajig. Though I want to be going in this direction, specifically. Y'all, we finally got to Lanayru! Now we get to complete 2 dungeons, like, super, super fast. We get to do the rest of the run. Get to do the rest of the run. Are we doing horse discourse, Pride? Would you like to tell us things about miniature horses? Are there miniature horses in Uma Musume? I'm giving you Uma Musume permission, Pride. This is a rare treat. For morale. Your morale. And morality, because Harurara is tiny, but is she a miniature horse? These are not necessarily the same thing. There we go. I do care. I care immensely. I can't say I've ever met a miniature horse to care about a miniature horse specifically. We're having this horse. This horse. Alright, we are doing Temple of Time. I was for taking the miniature horse into the IRS for work every day. Miniature horses are bigger than dogs, but they can't really hold riders. They aren't built for bearing weight. They're basically capable of everything a service dog or therapy dog and ESA is capable of. Huh. Neat. Alright, this is the one where we don't actually need to bit save, we just need to check it. Alright. So, if anybody hasn't seen this late in the run before, we are off to do one of the silliest interactions in this entire run, in my opinion. We are going to enter a dungeon from the back door, and that counts. That counts as completing the dungeon, is entering then exiting through the same door, as long as it's the back door and not the front door. There we go. In we go. Also, threatening people does not count as injuring them. We can have explosives at the table as long as we don't injure anyone with them. Very scary. He can threaten us, we can threaten him. What's the point? I'm not sure what the point is, because usually bombs are round, but maybe they have a point. Emotional injury doesn't count? Yeah, call the law offices of... Who is the lawyers? Of Hudson and Hudson. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is Hudson the one I'm thinking of? I think it's Hudson that's in Tears of the Kingdom. And Breath of the Wild, right? Is that a speedrun category? That's gotta be, right? Also, say hi to Bippy. Say bye to Bippy. We're leaving. That's gotta be a speedrun category, right? Is complete the Hudson and something quest, right? Garfunkel and Oates? Sounds good enough. The law offices of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. shoutouts to the first time I heard that joke was on a radio program when I was 8. They used to have that in like the credits to one of their radio programs. Welcome to the back door. You want oats? No Garfunkel though? It took me a minute to go, wait, Garfunkel and Oates is not the real band. Garfunkel and Oates is the comedy band. The real band is Hall and Oates. That should work. Also, hey Maddie Facina, how's it going? Car Talk, indeed. I'm impressed that somebody else has heard of Car Talk. I don't know how we did... Why are we a minute ahead? Or Simon and Garfunkel. And Simon and Garfunkel. Was it really just Car Talk that did that? I didn't know. I don't know how we're over a minute ahead now. How was that gay by 6 seconds? I'm trying to figure this out now. I don't even know. Your dad and by proxy you used to listen to Car Talk? My mom and by proxy me used to listen to Car Talk. Yeah, my parents grew up, like, raised me listening to exactly, 2 radio stations. It was the local, like, rock music station, because my parents were massive hippies, and, NPR. That's it. To this day, we still pretty much, like, as far as me personally listening to the radio goes, I really only listen to one thing, which is my family sometimes puts on, wait, don't tell me, the NPR News Quiz. Which is not Carl Castle anymore. Who is it? For the longest time, it was Win Carl Castle's voice on your home answering machine, and it's not anymore. And I feel bad because he's been gone for years and I think he died. Alright. Void out to Upper Academy, Bitwood, yeah, right. I'm surprised. I had no idea that so many people listen to Car Talk. I thought that this was... you know what? The magic of the internet. Right? The magic of the internet is that many people have heard of Car Talk. It's the main reason you know enough about cars. I know nothing about cars. I don't remember any of the information I learned from Car Talk. I should've. I really should've. They're both the second place nobodies. Weird Al played the straight man and asked if they thought that was funny to mock 2 hardworking professionals like that, and after they said they wanted to be exactly like him in their show. Wait, Weird Al was on Car Talk? I didn't know this. I know nothing about cars, and like I had the problem recently, so my transmission leaks, apparently, and it's like, my car is almost 20 years old. Might be actually more than 20 years old now. So like, oh, Garfunkel and Oates. Okay, that makes more sense than Car Talk. But my car might be over 20 years old now, and the transmission just started leaking, and it was like, what do you do about that? Because getting that fixed is more expensive than the car is. So, oopie doopie, what we gonna do about it? So, like, my parents had to teach me how to, like, refill the oil in it. And my dad was confused and thought I was just being obtuse. And, like, I don't know, being a jerk. That I didn't know how to open the hood of a car. But I literally had never had to open the hood of a car before. He'd be on everything. Shouts to Weird Al. What a weird guy. Does he still not swear? Does Weird Al not swear? Also, welcome to Scary Split. It's Scary Split time. We are now less than a minute ahead, but that's to be expected. No, he doesn't swear. He still doesn't swear. GG's to him. When I was a teenager, I said I was never gonna swear in my life. That did not happen. Oh, hey, I get to say a swear. What's my swear? Does Weird Al not fucking swear? My goodness. Weird Al, get on it. Alright, and now bird. There we go. You'd already been swearing? I feel like most people, oh gosh, are swearing as teenagers. Yeah, 1 to 2. Just double checking what I'm doing when. I have a little bit of extra height because I biffed the beginning a little bit. I biffed the beginning a little bit, but don't worry about it. And now file 2. And this is the big scary part. That we need to go to Sealed Temple and do a cutscene wrong warp. And those are always a 2-frame trick, and if we're wrong in the too early direction, then the run just basically is dead. Because it loses like 2 whole minutes. And it's file 2. Yeah, I didn't swear until college. Asher can attest to this. Asher was the person who knew me before college. Hold on. Nailed it. Ah, the hard part's the easy part, right? That's the easy part. Yes. Did it. Not the best I've ever done. Oh, we did save a couple seconds. I just missed my split. Okay, now I just need to... You remember when stupid was a bad word? No, you're not supposed to say stupid. Oh, one of my favorite stories from when I was a little kid. I was like, okay, so I was probably like 6 or 7. Probably 7. I want to go with 7. I was a bit of a rebellious kid because, you know, I had an older sibling, and my older sibling said the dirty swear words, so I would sometimes say the dirty swear words. And so I said a mild curse word, in front of a kid in my class, who's also like 6 or 7. And, so I said this mild curse word. It was probably something along the lines of like, damn, or hell, or something like that. And, this kid goes, "You're not supposed to say that." And I go, "Yeah, who says?" And he goes, "My mom." I go, "Yeah, and who's your mom? Is she the supreme leader of the universe?" And he goes, "Yes." And I was like, you know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. Also, hey, Anwar, how's it going? Thank you for the luck and the fun. Yeah, no, that kid knew how to win an argument. When you were in 10th grade, you said shut up, and a teacher told you to watch your language. I remember, so my mom taught 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, essentially. But my mom would also thank you so much, Cheese God, for converting your Prime sub into a tier 1 sub. That's a very interesting notification. Thank you, Twitch, for keeping us up to date on all the nitty-gritties of how subs work. But my mom, I remember, like, was showing me this, like, video that she really wanted to show to her class, and she was like, and I can't show it to them. I can't show it to them. And I'm like, okay, what is it? It was like one of those sort of modern interpretations of, like, Shakespeare or classic stories or something like that. I don't remember what story it was. But it was like two young guys very colloquially talking about, like, Shakespeare or something like that. Enter Spiral with file 1. This is the weird one. Oh, not that. Thank you. Now we look at file 2. Here's file 2. Look at it in all of its glory. Now we look at file 3. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And enter Woods on file 3. Bippy, what are you doing? Bippy. You know, sometimes I have questions about this Wiimote does not like to log jump, and this is the wrong category to have issues with log jump. Ugh. Excuse me. There we go. Didn't save time on log jump. File 2 for log, 3 to 2. There we go. Excuse me, up. There we go. Well, this is a little bit jank. There's file 2. And then we're gonna talk to Machi with our file 1. I was gonna say though, so my mom was showing me this video that's just like a couple of young guys talking about whatever, like, classic story, right? And she's like, but I can't show it to them. They said pissed. I'm like, pissed is our swear word? Pissed? What makes pissed a swear? Do I let my mind wander while doing a mundane task? Almost always. I feel like who doesn't, right? Most people let their mind wander quite a bit. I've got the ADHD brain, so, like, my brain goes all over the place. But, I feel like nobody's immune to the brain wander bug. Alright, bonking file 2, positional bit warp on file 1. I don't have that written and it always scares me. Dad would show you Monty Python and manually mute out the swear words? That's commitment. Also, hey to Art Demissive, how's it going? That person on the PTA? I mean, my mom wasn't even on the PTA. They didn't have a PTA. So, she worked at a very small school. Been better, been worse? Comme ci, comme ça. Still in French, but I hope that you have chill vibes regardless. I hope that the day turns for the better and not for the worse. The worse would be bad. I mean, one of the things, thinking about, like, focus things, one of the things that I do like about speedruns is that I can kind of, like, alternate between being hyper-focused on the run and focusing in on chat and doing other things. And I personally, like, one thing I don't love about this run is that I do have to have my route document open to double check things. I would prefer not to. I would prefer to just be able to memorize the route, and for any percent for Skyward Sword, I definitely can just memorize the route and then go on, you know, my merry way and not have to, like, think about having documentation open. But for this route, it was a little bit more complicated, a little bit longer. There's a lot of places where, like, even if I know the answer, I like to check. Checking always feels good. All right, where's the dead zone on? That's not there. That'll do it. Perfect. What's my thoughts on productivity? I mean, I don't really think that productivity is entirely a lie invented by the government to promote a capitalist agenda, but I do think it's mostly that. Like, the idea that we have to, like, push yourself 100% of the time, every day. Thanks, capitalism, for not letting me feel like a human when I can't be perfectly productive. Nice, first try. I do, like, so whenever I have, like, been in periods of time where I'm, like, home a lot, this was kind of how I, like, am during, or like, was during pandemic, and how I like to treat, like, having days off and stuff like that in general. I try to, for myself, do something practically productive and something personally productive every day. And what does that mean? Well, that's up to you. You know, practically productive meaning things like my laundry, or going grocery shopping, or cleaning the bathroom, like anything that, you know, chores, like sending an email, stuff like that. Anything that is like that, like, that's my practically productive thing for the day. And then I try to do something personally productive. Personally productive could mean, like, you know, sitting down to read a book that I really wanted to read. Or, like, getting to hang out with a friend I haven't gotten to talk to in a while. Or working on a personal project for a couple hours. Like, something that feels productive for me, because, like, a big sort of ADHD brain thing, and, like, how I sort of came to terms with the fact that, like, wait, no, I just have ADHD, is the idea of, like, decision paralysis making you feel unable to do any of the things you have to do because there are too many options. And, like, that sucks. I don't like it. But, like, is sometimes, even if you have, like, free time, at least for me, I get into these positions where I'm like, I have free time, I need to spend it wisely. You know, I have a day where I don't have to do anything this week. I need to be maximum personally productive. I can't just be personally productive. So I started, like, quantifying a personally productive thing, right? So that my brain could be like, yes, I just have to pick one off the list. And they're not all going to be equal, but we just put them on the list. Alright. Apologies that I'm gonna focus up a little bit. Multitasking and task switching works for there's just a lot of other people. Yeah, it's a lot of, like, whatever is working for you is, like, what you should do. one of the things that I didn't like in high school was they kind of try to teach you how to, like, manage things, right? They try to teach you, like, life skills of how to manage your whatever, your work you have to do and stuff like that. And it's like, well, yeah, but that's applying a one-size-fits-all solution to an individualized problem. That's what college is for. College is for figuring all that out for yourself before you have to go out into the real world. High school, you cannot drip feed someone the solution for that. You know? Alright, I'm not gonna mess it up this time, I hope. Impa, please work with me on this. I'm scared, Impa. I'm scared, Impa. I think that worked. I think that worked. Yay, we're good! We're good! That's the trick that scares me more than anything else. How? Hi, robot. Bye, robot. How? We're gay again? It's a very gay day. It's a very gay day. College is expensive. I mean, yeah, not everybody is gonna learn stuff like that in college, but that is, like, you know, a part of what you're designed, like, you're supposed to learn in college. In, like, this modern formula where they want everybody to go to college, you know? Deal with decision paralysis once, and that was you nearly getting creamed by a train. That sounds very scary. Also, hey, Breathtaking, how's it going? Welcome in, y'all. Thank you so much for the raid. What were y'all up to? Welcome to, most of the way through Skyward Sword Pacifist run. We only have one scary trick left, and it's the scary, scary one. Ooh, playing Hades 2? Yo. Alright, we're gonna give one try to the foot, and then we run away from the foot. Nope. No foot. No feet. But yes, feet. Next feet. Sucked out Link to the Past rando, so snuck in a Hades run? I mean, heck yeah. Also, it's not a problem if you suck at a Link to the Past rando if you had fun. And it wasn't a race. This has been, like, an interesting sort of mental roller coaster I've gone on recently. So, after RAF, they asked a bunch of the people who No? That's not the correct conversation options. Good thing it gives you an out. We're gonna fix this. There we go. Whew. But, they gave us, like, a interview thing for a bunch of people who were in RAF, through Zelda Dungeon. They, like, asked us a bunch of questions, and they asked both me and Jim the same questions, which is very funny because I read through the interview, because we didn't talk to each other about the fact that we got sent these questions, and I read through the interview after the fact, and we got the same questions between the two of us, but we absolutely answered them, interpreting them in different ways, which was interesting. Like, yeah, we're losing a little bit of time because I got the menu option wrong, but luckily we got to sneak out of it before it did anything bad, because, fun fact, that can crash. This game is super stable. Super, super stable. Anyway, but they gave me, ooh, that's not what I want. They gave me some interview questions that were about Skyward Sword Co-op Randomizer, and, you know, I answered a bunch of the interview questions about it, and one of the, like, if you want to read the interview, you, in fact, can. It's on Zelda Dungeon. But one of the interview questions that they gave me was, like, what would you say to somebody who is interested in trying randomizer, but, like, has never tried it before, or is scared to try it or something like that? And I was like, do it. What you scared of? Like, it was really weird to me to think back to the time when I started learning Skyward Sword randomizer. I didn't, like, ever do, I wasn't doing races, I wasn't learning settings, quote unquote. I was like, hold on, we're doing this. There we go. I wasn't learning settings for any reason. There we go. I was just kind of, like, learning the settings I was interested in learning and slowly adding more. And, like, I put a lot of pressure on myself at the time to, like, quote-unquote be good at it, but the reason for that was because I was coming into it with, like, speedrun brain of, like, no, I have to be good at it because I speedrun Skyward Sword, I'm doing Skyward Sword randomizer. But if I could give advice to anybody trying out randomizer, there's no such thing as sucking at it. Because it's all for fun. Like, unless you're in a race, a randomizer is a casual playthrough. There's no speedrunning a randomizer, you don't need to. It's the same with Wind Waker randomizer? Yeah, but I suck at that one. It was a seed that you would have been frustrated with if you still played a bunch. But it was actually just fun. I'm glad! Got him. Fine. Fine. Maybe I'll do Wind Waker randomizer on Saturday, just to mess with Pride. Only to mess with Pride, and definitely not because I would like to remember how to play Wind Waker randomizer. It's been a bit. It's a game for fun, exactly. It's okay to suck. And, like, that's how you get better at things, is you suck at them for a while. Link's Awakening rando, your beloved. Switch or not switch? Because I was hanging out the other day in Ruben's stream, and they got some tools in Ruben, in, like, Link's Awakening for Switch that I did not know about. They got some neat tools. Okay, we can be on the title screen. Oh! That's really weird. I don't know where we got watermelon from. We got watermelon somewhere. Oh, nope, not that one. This one, please. It doesn't actually matter what we're on right now, but LADX rando is so good, if only because, hold on. We're gonna focus a little bit to not mess up on our final easy RBM. Really easy RBM. Also, hey Fireflower, how's it going? Free watermelon? Free watermelon! I don't know how we got it, but we did get a free watermelon. Nope! That might not have worked. I might have just borked it. That probably didn't work. We're gonna find out. I forgot that was second. We're gonna try, and we're gonna finish the run anyway, and we're just gonna be really sad if that killed PB. Did I just kill PB? I didn't! Stop the presses! Not only did I not kill PB, I was faster? This is the most unhinged I've ever been on stream, I think. I feel alive! Also, hey Jeff Stoffleys, how's it going? I feel alive. Hinges are overrated. Never doubt yourself, never doubt yourself! Always keep the run going. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh my god. What have we done? What have we done? We have plenty of bombs. Yeah, we have 9. Oh god. Okay. Okay. Just don't mess up the final bit interaction. We're good. I have more health than that, don't I? Oops. Don't worry. That works. That works. I always forget that I do a death warp to reload the area. So, oh my goodness. Woo! Scary. Scary, scary, scary. Alright. Bizarre, so I know it doesn't look like it, but if you haven't seen the end of the Pacifist run before, this is the end of the run. What we are doing is a cutscene wrong warp into the credits cutscene, which is basically we are going to take the number that's associated with the door that we entered on Eldin, which was on file 3, which is the one we would like to do a cutscene wrong warp with. So the number associated with that door and apply it to a map back in time. Specifically, the one in the sealed temple, in the past, which we now have created the file setup to get there, but we just have to do some shenaniganery, because otherwise, it's not gonna load correctly. Glubbers and Dolmeros are talking about non-profits, but I'll be real, I don't have the brain space to consider IRS forms right now. We'll consider that next. First speed run, then the IRS. That's how it works. And now I'm gonna get a job at the IRS. Alright, so we are taking the fact that Groose exists and putting it on file 3. I cannot look at other files right now, or I'll delete the fact that Groose exists, and Groose is not allowed to get yeeted from existence. Not allowed. So we bring this file with us. I can't see either, don't worry. Bruce has made it to his destination. We mash through this. Is it pacifist to unmake someone? That I don't know. Alright, now we need to Skyward strike that. Go over to these doors. That's the slow door, but this is the one time it doesn't matter. We have one more, don't press A. Because we need to reload the room without changing anything. Now the door is open. I would like to enter it with file 2, so that loads the correct version of the map on the other side. One last frame saver, why not? And now... here we go. Just a 2-frame trek, right? Speedrun, my beloved! Yes! PSBS! And this is a non-contentious PB!